Okay, here's all the cards. 6-deck Blackjack. Dealer stands on all 17s. No surrender. Blackjack pays 3-2. Shoe number 2. Testing. Doing a 5-way test of Martingale, Paroli, 1326, and Fibonacci versus flat betting. Well, really against each other. I show you all the cards here in the beginning, so you can see that they're all there. I show you the entire shuffle procedure, so that you can see that I don't fix the deck. And while I'm doing that, I show the whole thing. Gives me a chance to explain what's going on. If you're already familiar, you can fast forward. No problem. If you are new, you may just want to pay attention. Okay, so, oops. I do a 7-shoe series where I run a 6-deck shoe to test different betting strategies. What I've been doing is testing them against flat betting. Since we've already done a test of Martingale versus flat betting, Paroli versus flat betting, the 1326 against flat betting, and Fibonacci against flat betting, I'm now doing the 5-way comparison, testing them all to see. While they say that there's no system that can beat the house edge, and whether or not that's true, we're trying to determine. If it's possible, which one does it better, or if it's not possible, which one is worse at it. Now, you can't tell anything on one shoe, which is why we do a series of 7. I would agree that 7 shoes isn't necessarily enough to make a final determination. But for these 4 different systems plus flat betting, we've already run 7 shoes for each of those. Continuing to use the automatic card shuffler here. We've already done 7 shoes of each. And now this will end up, once this is all done, we'll have data for 14 shoes. That's still probably not enough, but it starts getting better. We've been getting at least 45 hands per shoe, playing heads up against the dealer. That would be different if you had other positions playing at the table. So that's been giving us about 330 hands for each series. Oops, don't worry, those will get mixed in. What did I say? 330 plus hands per shoe. What you'll read everywhere, pretty much, is that betting systems don't work in the long term. That in the long term, betting the house edge will, if you happen to be up, the house edge over the long term will take away your winnings, and you'll end up I guess at the same as if you were flat betting. This is what people say after supposedly running millions of hands through computer simulators. You, of course, are never going to play even 1 million hands. You could conceivably go to the casino for the evening and play 300 hands. That's not that unreasonable. So I like to think that, you know, the 7-shoe series is representative of, you know, one typical or average visit to a casino. I'm sure there's been times when you've played longer or for shorter periods of time. I certainly have played for much longer. But it, you know, this is somewhere to start. So anyways, getting through the shuffle procedure here, let me mention that we play by perfect basic strategy. I keep the chart over here on the side and refer to it as needed, or just to verify my action. Oops. Come on. That happens every once in a while there. Because you can't start just guessing what to do. You have to, I think, play consistently in order for these experiments to work out. I'll also mention, because it'll seem odd if you've never watched these before, that all the systems play on the same hand. And what that means is, instead of each system putting down their own wager and then getting their own set of cards, there's only one set of cards and everybody has their bets out. So everybody plays off that same hand. So whether that's a win or a loss or a push or whatever it is, it affects everybody the same. The differences will come from what these different systems do, whether they have won or lost. This wouldn't work if you tried to give everybody their own hands, because one system might get really good cards, another system might get really bad cards, and so what you're not going to see. You're just going to see, oh, that this side got better cards or worse cards. Anyways, it's been satisfying me as far as whether it's reasonable and effective. Okay, the shuffle procedure is completed. Thank you for your patience. Oh, almost lost it there. These are our cut cards. We will simulate a player cutting the deck. And then we will look for, well, I've been saying 75% penetration. I'm thinking it's probably more like 75 to 80. We have not gotten any fewer than 45 hands out of any 6-deck shoe so far. Okay, so let me start putting it out. I know that these ones on the edge are a little bit out of the frame, but that's fine. This will be the Martingale player, the Paroli player, the flat better, the 1-3-2-6 system, and the Fibonacci player. Okay, each player starts with 50 units, which you'll see here. The blues are 10s, the reds are 5s, the whites are singles, so that's 2 10s, 4 5s, and 10 singles for 50 units. We go by units, so then you can scale this up to whatever you're playing. If you're playing a $5 table, a 1 unit is a $5 table, 1 unit is $5. This is a 1 unit minimum, 100 unit max at this table. So that would be like playing a $5 table with a $500 limit. It's not that uncommon. Sometimes you might find a $1,000 limit when you're playing a $5 table with $5. Okay. That will really only come into effect for Martingale or Fibonacci, assuming that they don't bust out before then. Speaking of Fibonacci, I have the Fibonacci sequence here. I'll bring it up and use it as needed. Burn card. I keep track of the number of hands that we play per shoe. Every player starts with a single unit. Just going to try to get going fast because these series are a little bit longer and slower. So let me finish this. This is the hand for all 5 players. This is obviously the dealer hand here. Okay, so a 12 to a 2 is a hit. 13 to a 2 is a stand. What I'm keep getting confused on is it a 12 to a 13 is still a hit. Okay, so 13 stands, 11, and 19. Okay, so I keep track of the number of hands we run. I already said that, in case you weren't paying attention. I also keep track of the loss column for the negative progressive systems, being Fibonacci and Martingale. So those come down here on the side. Very quickly, the Fibonacci sequence, the objective is to close out your current losing streak at break even. So you've lost 1, your next wager is 1. If you lose that, your next wager is 2. If you win that, you will have canceled out those 2 losses. Anytime you win, you move back 2 positions. Martingale, you would go all the way back to the beginning. Martingale's objective is also different. Martingale's objective is to close out your losing streak with a gain of 1 unit. So you lost 1, so now you're going to wager 2 to get back the 1 plus 1. Every time Martingale loses, he doubles his previous wager, or more accurately, doubles the amount plus 1 from his loss column. All right, just kind of keep going. These guys are positive progressives. Well, flat betting isn't. So they just they're still at the beginning of their sequences. Insurance, no insurance. Insurance closed. What I mean, no insurance. You don't take insurance. Okay. Dealer Blackjack. Okay, so Fibonacci sequence, I'm not going to bring it up every single time. It goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. So after losing, you're in position 3 on the sequence. 1, 1, 2, so it's a wager of 2. Martingale is down 3. His next wager is 4. Cards are sticky today. Not sticky, but just not coming out smooth. Ace check there, it's not there. 12 to a 10 takes a card. 19. 18. Okay, so for Fibonacci, you get your 2 back from your loss column. The 1, 3, 2, 6 gets paid. The flat better gets paid. Paroli gets paid. And Martingale gets back the 3 from its loss column, plus 1 out of the dealer rack. Right there. Okay, so Fibonacci completed his cycle at break even. 1, 3, 2, 6 needs to bring out another chip to go from 1 unit to 3 units. Right there. So there's 3. The flat better puts his winnings away. The Paroli presses, looking for 3 consecutive wins before it'll press every bet until it gets 3 consecutive wins. Martingale completed the series, or the cycle, takes off all but 1, starting over. Okay? $13 stands to a dealer 6, 16, 26. Okay, so Fibonacci gets paid. 1, 3, 2, 6 gets 3. Flat better gets 1. Paroli gets 2. Martingale gets 1. The reason that these are red and green and red, is these are negative progressive systems. These are positive progressive systems. Flat betting is blue because it's just flat. Okay, Fibonacci is negative progressive, just takes off its winnings on a 1. 1, 3, 2, 6. After winning 3, goes to the 2 position. The flat better, always betting 1 unit. The Paroli presses again after 2 consecutive wins. That's a wager of 4. Martingale just takes off. I'm not going to explain every single action every single time in super great detail. Insurance closed for the sake of time. Okay, so Fibonacci out. 1, 3, 2, 6 does not complete its cycle. Flat betting loses. Paroli loses all 4. And Martingale is here. So Fibonacci after losing one, wagers one. 1, 3, 2, 6 starts its sequence over. Flat better, Paroli, single units. Martingale loop down 1, wagers 2. $13 hits, 20, 14, 20. Push. Just a basic repeat. If you're down in your sequences, same position, same wager. Ace check. 15 to a 10 hits. 23's too many. $20. Okay, Fibonacci losing 2 in a row. 1, 1, 2. Next wager is 2. 1, 3, 2, 6. Flat and Paroli are 1. Martingale down 3. Again, wagers 4. Looking to get back to close out the loss column with a gain of 1 unit. Fibonacci, on the other hand, looking to close out the loss at break even. 18. Sorry, I didn't see it. Even if I did, it wouldn't matter. You'd hit that 2 to an 8. That's what I meant. Of course, look at that. 21. Very nice. 15, 24. So Fibonacci gets his 2 back. The 1, 3, 2, 6 gets paid. The flat better gets paid. The Paroli gets paid. The Martingale gets the 3 from his loss column plus 1. And Fibonacci completes the cycle. Starts back at position 1 of 1 unit. 1, 3, 2, 6 needs to bring out another one. Wager of 3, flat goes down, Paroli presses, Martingale completes the cycle, next wager of 1. $20 stands to a 7, 12, 22. Fibonacci, 1, 3, 2, 6, flat, Paroli, Martingale. Okay, so Fibonacci takes off. 1, 3, 2, 6 drops down to a 2-unit wager. The Paroli presses up to 4. The Martingale's single unit. Ace check. 13 hits. 18 stands. 20. So again, 1, 3, 2, 6 is not completing his cycle. Paroli again, not completing up 3 consecutive wins. That is the first 10 hands. Things are going a little bit faster than they did last on the first shoe we ran of this series. Fibonacci is in position 2. That's a wager of 1, 1, 1. Martingale down 1, wagers 2. We had a lot of interesting stuff happen. If you didn't see that one, number 1 in the series. On the first, I think 3 hands were very interesting. Actually, that was the second one in the series. 12 hits to a 10, 15 hits again, 19, 17. So Fibonacci closes the losing sequence there at break even. Martingale gets the 1 from the loss column plus 1 for 2. Fibonacci's out. 1, 3, 2, 6 brings out another one to make it 3. Flat pulls out. Paroli presses to 2. Martingale, single unit. So the idea behind these tests is 13 hits. 17 is, when you 20, when you see how other players at the table, sometimes, at least I wonder, what would happen if I was betting like them, or what if they were getting my cards. This is our way of testing that to see that what would happen, and again, all on the same hand. Oops. I'm going to ask you for insurance, and you will decline insurance, and I will check and not have blackjack. So a 16 to an ace takes a card. 22, that's a little too much. Just a little. $4.14. With Fibonacci and Martingale, I'm keeping your loss columns over here on the side. 2 for Fibonacci from position 3 in the sequence. Martingale's lost 3, he's wagering 4. In the casino, you're going to have to do that yourself. Well, the same way that you can take the strategy card with you if you'd like. An 11 is a double down, so let me bring everybody up. You should take the Fibonacci sequence with you on a small piece of paper, sort of like you would take the chart or the card. Single card. 21. 15. 24. Okay, so Fibonacci gets his 2 back from his lost column, so he closed out at break even, but then he had a double down, so he gets a bonus. The 1, 3, 2, 6, he gets paid. We'll deal with him in a second. Flat gets paid. Paroli gets paid. Martingale gets his 3 from his lost column, plus 1 for his base bet, and then he gets 4 for his double down. So both Fibonacci and Martingale closed out their cycles appropriately. And then we'll talk for a second about 1, 3, 2, 6 and Paroli. So let me first take these out. Fibonacci's going back down to a single unit. 1, 3, 2, 6 strictly follows 1, 3, 2, 6. So that was a wager of 1. He happened to double down and win more. You get to keep 1 this time instead of bringing 1 out to make it 3. Your next wager's 3. Flat better's easy. It always bets the same. Paroli presses the whole thing. That's what we've been doing. Okay, looking for 3 consecutive wins. So while Martingale and Fibonacci could hit table limit, Paroli could, I suppose, if lots of splits and double downs and pressing the entire lot, of course, winning the whole thing. Martingale takes off all but 1, starting that Martingale cycle all over again. That's a first consecutive win for Paroli, and we're ready. Okay. A 19 will stand to an 8. 15. 16. Ooh, 22, just in time. Okay, I'm going to need a little change. Thank you. That's too many. Thank you, Mr. Martingale. Or Miss Martingale. 1, 3, 2, 6. So that's 3. I'm going to give you 5 and take 2. Actually, no, I'm not. Because then I'll just have to give you change again. Okay, 3, 1. Paroli, I will give you, that's 4. I'll give you 5 and take 1. Martingale, I'll give you 1. Okay. So 1, 3, 2, 6 gets to take off 4, so he has a wager of 2. Flat better takes that off. Paroli presses the whole thing up to 8. Looking for a 3rd consecutive win. Martingale takes off. Okay, 17 will stand to a 5. 10. 12. Come on, picture. 16. Come on, big one. Big enough. Okay, I need change again. Let's do it from Martingale again. Okay, Fibonacci. 1, 3, 2, 6. Flat. Paroli, that's a wager of 8. I'm going to give you 10 and take 2. Martingale, 1. That's 3 consecutive wins for the Paroli. So congratulations on completing your cycle there. 1, 3, 2, 6. After winning 2, needs to bring out 2 more, looking to complete which is really 4 wins in a row to complete the cycle. Flat better takes it off. Paroli completed the cycle, just drops back down to a single unit, starts over. Okay, you can play Paroli however you want. If you want to make it, say, 4 consecutive wins or 5 consecutive wins, that's your decision to make. Most commonly, it's a wager of 3. 20 to a 9 stands. 15. 22. 1 there. 6 there. 1 there. Need change again. That goes there. 1 for Paroli, 1 for Martingale. All right. So the 1326 did get 4 in a row. Everybody got 4 in a row, but 1326 completed the cycle. So he takes off everything except for 1 unit, starting over at 1. Paroli pressing to 2. Well, insurance closed. Let's have a peek. 19 will stand. 17. We get change again. Sizing in. 2 for Paroli. And clear the cards. Alright, 1326 needs to bring out another one. Paroli's pressing to 4. What was that, 5 consecutive wins? Very nice. Good shoe. 8 will take a card. 18, that's good. 10. 14. Come on. 20. Paroli did not complete. Well, we haven't gotten to an instance or a situation where you've really had to think too much about how much the Fibonacci and Martingales are wagering. It's pretty straightforward right now. It's when you get into losing splits and double downs that it starts to get a little weird. If it comes up, we'll deal with it. If you're interested, go back and look at some of the other series, the other shoes, or in from this series, or in the series for Martingale and Fibonacci, and Paroli a little bit too. Okay, anyways, 12 stands. 17. That's another 10 hands. Makes 20. Expecting 45. Fibonacci's a wager of 2. 1, 3, 2, 6 flat, and Paroli are single units. Paroli needs some change. Martingale is now down 3, so he's wagering 4. The objective of closing out the losing streak with a gain of 1 unit. Eight takes a hit. 12 to a 7 needs to hit again. 22, too many. 9. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. So we're at the 3 point for Fibonacci. The way that you figure out what your next wager is in Fibonacci is you take the last 2 numbers. Hold on a second. Martingale is down 7, so he's going to wager 8. Fibonacci, you take the last 2 numbers and add them together. So 1 and 1 is 2. 1 and 2 is 3. 2 and 3 is 5. 3 and 5 is 8. 5 and 8 is 13. 8 and 13 is 21, etc. I'll show you on the chart next time. 12 needs a card to a 7. 22. Well, now things are getting kind of tough here. 17. I'll show you the Fibonacci right now. We were just at the 3. We lost 1, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to 5. Next would be 8, 13, 21. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 and 3 is 5. 3 and 5 is 8. 5, 8, 13, etc. The next number in the sequence would be 55 plus 89. It's 144. That's above the table limit of 100 units. You probably wouldn't get there anyways. You would most likely bust out somewhere around the 21, maybe to the 34. Depends on how the action prior to that was going. Anyways, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5 right there for Fibonacci. Single units here. Martingale is now, after losing 8, generally you just double the prior loss. So you lost 8, so now you would wager 16. And that works because you have an 8, a 4, a 2, and a 1. That's 15. So, and to get 1 more, you need to go to 1 more than 15 is 16. And here we go. Pair of 3s, 2 and 9. of course, is just a hit. Although you should have split, because then you'd have a nice 11 that you could double down on, and then we could get really confused, especially with Fibonacci. But no, now you have a 14 to a 9 needs another card. A 16 to a 9. Card counters might stop here. But we're not card counters, or we're not going to play like card counters. We're going to take another card, strictly following the strategy. 16, and good thing we did. 17, 19, to no avail. Okay. Well, that is 5 losses in a row. So, Fibonacci 1, 1, 2, 3, 5 now goes 8. 3 plus 5 is 8. And you're probably thinking, but you can't, 8 is more than he has lost. We'll deal with that, with the objective being to close out your losing streak at break even. We'll deal with how that goes, because at least hopefully you'll start winning again. Martingale last bet was 16. Next comes 32. So 10, 20, 32. Martingale is on the cusp. Martingale, if he loses this, he'll have a single unit left, and he's not going to be allowed to buy in again. So he'll just have to play from there. So this is a tough one for Martingale, but that's part of the risk of these negative progressive systems. Okay, a 16 stands to a 4. 5, 15. 15 looking to bust the dealer. Oh, did not. 18. So that's a loss for Fibonacci. Well, it's a loss all around. It's really bad. It's going to be tough for Martingale. Martingale is now down to his last chip. Very dire. Okay. Anyways, let's see. Fibonacci, I'll bring it up because it starts getting along. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. Okay, looks like he has about 33 left. So he's still in the game. He would not be able to fully cover the 21 should he lose this. If you win, what you do is you move back 2 positions to the 5. And if you win that, you move back 2 positions to the 2 and to the 1. It's not that complicated when you only get to the 2, because moving back 2 positions closes the cycle. Okay? So if you're playing in the casino, I would suggest having a chart like this and kind of just, especially once you start getting down here, keeping track of where you are. Not that it's hard, but when you start getting into splits and double down losses, it gets a little weird. Anyways, Fibonacci wagering 13. 10 plus 3. 1, 1, 1, 3, 2, 6. Flat Paroli betting 1. Martingale down to his last chip. Not sure what he's going to do if he wins. Well, I know what he's going to do. I guess he'll just be playing at a single unit, because that's how it goes. If he loses, he's out. So, good luck. Ooh, tough cards. 18's going to stand to a 10. 12, you have a lifeline right there. 13, oh, most important card in the game would lose it for you. It would be the 8. Now the most important card in the game would win it for you. That is, just to tell you, 14. 17. Okay. Fibonacci, so you win. 12, 13, 14, 17, just verifying. So you're down, Fibonacci is 13, so you get the last 2 back. You get the 8. Make sure you can see it. 8 plus 5. Okay? I'm going to stack them right there. 1, 3, 2, 6 gets paid. Flat gets paid. Paroli gets paid. Martingale gets paid. He's just down all this money. Going to give him back that 1. I'm giving it to you out of the loss column. This is actually... Well, hold on. Let me clear this out. I think this is the first time that Martingale has gotten to... It happened in the Martingale series. It's the first time in this 5-way series. I guess his loss column doesn't really matter. It doesn't, because he's not going to start betting, he's not going to press it and bet 2, then he would become Paroli. Okay? So he's just down. Down 48. Guess I should just wipe those out. Okay. Okay, so let me just very quickly say, Fibonacci That was a wager of 13. He won. You move back 2 positions, 8 to 5. Did I give him back the right amount? 8 and 5. Yeah, so your next wager is 5. Why do we have too much? Oh, I know. Okay, so let's just quickly look, confusing myself, at the Fibonacci loss sequence left. So you'd be at 5. If you win the 5, you move back 2 positions, and you're at the 2, which is those 2. And if you win that, then you've gotten all the way back, and you close out your cycle at break even. If you're going to be at 5, if you lose, you go to the 8. You don't go down 2 positions or pick back up down to the 21, having been at 13. Nope. Just go back to here, and if you win, you move back 2. That's all. Okay, so yeah, that's right. See, I confused myself. So, next wager for Fibonacci is 5. Just clean up his stuff here. 1326 needs to bring out another one. Paroli presses to 2. Martingale has got 1 in reserve. He's alive. Oops. I must have just put that all away. I meant Fibonacci's at 5. A 20 will stand. I don't need to ace check. I'll just look for it here. So Fibonacci gets back the 3 and the 2 from his lost column. The 1326 gets 3. The flat gets 1. Paroli gets 2. Martingale gets 1. And Fibonacci, moving back 2 positions from the 5, is now at the 2. So he leaves 2 out there, and that's good because he still has 2 down in his lost column. 1326 gets to take off a few. His next wager is 2. Paroli pressing to 4, looking for for 3 consecutive wins to complete his cycle. 13 for the player. I'll ask you for insurance. Of course you will decline, and we'll take a peek. And I don't have it, so 13 to an ace will take a card. 23 busts. All these come off. Paroli did not complete his cycle. Martingale is out. 20 for the dealer. Guess I could have... yeah, that's fine. Fibonacci 1, 1, 2, and then the next is a 3. 1, 3, 2, 6, and this are single units. Paroli needs some change. We'll wager a single unit. Martingale down 1, wagers 2. Martingale is all in. $20 will stand. 16 looking good. 20 push. Same bet, same position. Don't have to do anything. Ooh, an 11. To an ace. I will ask you for insurance. You will decline insurance. Insurance closed. An 11 to an ace is the only time you're not going to double down an 11 at these table rules, which is fortunate for Martingale because he doesn't have it. So, insurance closed. Check. Not there. Take a hit. 20. 3, 13. 4, 14. 14. Most important card in the game. The 8 will win it for you, or higher. And that's good. So, Fibonacci gets 3 out of his lost column. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 2, 6. Flat and Paroli get paid single units. And the Martingale gets back the 1 from his lost column, plus 1 from my rack. Closes his cycle at a gain of 1 unit. Congratulations. Now Fibonacci was at 3, moves back 2 positions. His next wager will be 1, but he'll be in position 2. If he loses, he goes to the 2 because he still has 1 here in his lost column. 1, 3, 2, 6 brings out another one. Wager of 3. Paroli pressing to 2. Martingale taking off, leaving 1. Starting over. A 5 to a 3. You know, I once saw a guy. He waved that off. I don't know what he thought he had. I don't remember what the dealer had. He didn't hit his 5. And once it moved on to the next hand, I said, "What was that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know." he didn't know why he didn't hit it. 11 will double down to a 3, but you cannot. So you just hit and an 18. Good thing you took that 7. 19. Let's see, what was this again? 18. No good. What was that in Vegas Vacation? That's the next 10 hands. That's 30 out of an expected at least 45. Fibonacci's at wager of 2. 1, 1, 1. Martingale being down 1, wagers 2 in Vegas Vacation. What did he not hit on? Like a 7, wasn't it? Something? That was great. That's a good movie. 10 will double down. Martingale will have to double down for less. That's all he's got. He's all in. He's got 3 units. 2 and 1. Single card. 15. 13. Up. Here's the 8. Or at least the 8 is what kills you. 15. 15 to 15. Take a card. Oh. 20. Okay. Hold on. Okay, Fibonacci was in position 3, wager of 2, plus his double down of 2. I'll come back and talk about that in a second. These just all come off. Martingale, thank you for playing, sir. You are done. Martingale's busted out. Will not buy in again. That's your risk of playing Martingale. Now, you could argue 50 units is not enough to play Martingale. It's still 6 losses in a row. I think what it is, and you're out. If you're at a $5 table, it's $250. So yes, maybe. And when I did run the original Martingale series, I did do it with more units, but he was also starting at a base bet of 10, which is really the same as 5 to a single unit and coming to the table with 50. So it may not be enough, because like if you say win the next hand, that would get you everything back. But I wanted to start everybody equally. Now Fibonacci 112, it's where he was. He doubled down. He would normally go to the 3, but how it seems to work is that when you lose double down or multiple wagers, you move down in an additional position for every additional wager that you lost. I think that was right. Well, it's definitely, if you lose 2, you move down an extra spot. So you were at 2, since you would normally, you lost, and you would normally move to 3, you would go now to 5. Okay, you're moving that extra position. When you win, you will move back 2 plus 1. Okay, and this is where it really helps to keep the loss column over here on the side. I'll show you as it goes. It does work out. It's a strange thing with Fibonacci. It's not really a strange thing with Fibonacci. It's a strange thing with Blackjack, because Blackjack is not an even money game because of Blackjacks paying 3 to 2, or even 6 to 5, whatever it is. Even though you just keep that as a bonus, but the fact that Blackjack allows you to have multiple wagers out there in forms of double downs and splits, and double downs after splits, etc., and resplits, and then double down. So you're going to the 5 for Fibonacci. This is what slows this down a lot. Martingale is out. 15 will stand to a dealer 4. 11, 20. Okay, Fibonacci will move to the next spot, next position in the sequence. So whereas you normally add up the two prior losses, in this instance, those 2 prior losses would only put you at 7. In fact, you should be at 8. If you went to 7 and you won 7 and you move back to 1, 2, you have 11 out here. It actually would work if you just went. That's not what we've been doing. I'll have to look at that more. So if you lost the extra 2 and the 5, if you made that a 7, then you don't have to get quite so weird with it. That's not what we've been doing, but that's probably the better thing to do. So when you think of Fibonacci, if you look at a chart of it, it's like a spiral. It starts small, or it can, one way to do it, it's a spiral. So then it starts getting bigger and bigger. So you would just have a little glitch where it doesn't get quite as big for a second and then resumes on a different, like on a number shift. We're going to stick with the way we've been doing it because I did work it out and it does seem to work. This is like a revelation. Maybe that's a better way to do it. If you have any ideas about that, please say so in the comments. Help us out. Not a lot of people talk about that in the research I've done about Fibonacci, about what to do in those special case scenarios. Insurance close of multiple losses on a single hand of blackjack. Okay. Speaking of, that's dealer blackjack. So going from the 8 now to the 13 for Fibonacci. 2 5s, 3 single units. I'm going to offset that. Mr. 1326 needs some change. And Paroli will need some change. Okay. Come on. 10 takes a card. 12 hits again. 20, good. 14, 19. Okay, so Fibonacci, let me pay him first. That's 13, so there's 8 plus 5, okay, which is his last 2 losses. Okay, so Fibonacci being at 13, remember we got here by moving down an extra position, so we were going to go 13, we'll go back to 2 plus 1. 13 minus 2. No, it doesn't work like that. Gosh, I thought it did, but you know, I don't think there's been a situation where we, after doing the losing the multiple bets, that we went back and forth like this. But this is where it's going to help to keep track of what your losses are. So that's his 13, so he's going to take that off, and we'll just go with what things look like. Yeah, see, I like this Fibonacci. It's fun, but it is, man, it's confusing. Okay, so let's look. His Fibonacci in his loss column has the 1, the 2 that he and the 2 that he doubled down. So he has a total of 6. So if he was at 13, he goes back to the 5. I guess after, maybe you only move back the 2 from the place that you jumped down to. Remember, we're at 2 and you went 1 plus 1, because that would work. And if our next wager is 5 and he goes back 2 plus the 1, then he'll be playing from position 2, trying to close out off this one. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to have to experiment with this on my own a little more. I thought I had it figured out. I was pretty confident in it. 1326 brings out another one, wager of 3. Paroli pressing to 2. Oh. A 9 will double down to a 3 to make it even more confusing. Because, yeah, let's might as well just work all this stuff out in real time. Single card. What is that? 17, 4, 14, 13, 14. What was that? 19. Oh, Great. Fibonacci losing those. 1, 3, 2, 6 is out. Flat better, or not out, but that loses. Paroli is not going to complete his sequence. So we were at the 5 for Fibonacci. This is definitely a first where we've been in the sequence and doubled down again. So we would go down 1, and we go down an extra 1. So we're going to wager 13. By wagering 13, if we win the 13, we'll go back 1, 2. Let me just see. Plus the 1 spot, plus 1 other spot. Yeah, it's all goofy now. We're gonna do this. We're gonna stay on here, and I think I'm right that about having to adjust the numbers to being the prior 2 losses. Okay. Anyways, we're going to go with, that was a double loss on the 5, so we're going to go to 13. Got to give you change. Shoot, I really thought I had this figured out, but I'm just trying to stay consistent with the similar action that we had before. 13 there, 1, 3, 2, 6. Again, needs change. It's his. This away. That'll be a little faster. Okay. Ace check. 14 hits. 21. Very nice. 20. Okay, so let's just give Fibonacci is 13, so that's 5 and 5. The last 2 he lost. 2 and 1. Yeah, it's really screwy right now. We'll figure it out. Okay. Oops. This goes there. Alright, so let's clear them out. 1, 3, 2, 6 brings out another wager of 3. Paroli presses to 2. Now, remember we've moved down the sequence twice for double down losses. Our last one was at 13. We moved back 2 plus 1. Okay, it would be at 3. If we make up the other move down that we had, we would move to 2. The only problem is that we have 3 out there. We're off the chart now. We're going to wager 3, and if we win, because we're going to go back, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back 2 positions plus 1. So we'll wager the 3. If we win that, we'll go back 2 positions plus 1, which makes up for the 2 different times we went down extra spots. Make sense? If you don't like that, then put something in the comments. Help us with your insights, please. Right now I would just prefer that Fibonacci wins and closes out. Insurance closed, so we can just keep moving on. But that is not going to be what happens. Instead, Fibonacci and everybody, sorry about that, will lose to a dealer Blackjack. Did I not take that? Must have been. Okay, so Fibonacci following the sequence. Following the sequence, he should go to the 5. If he wins the 5, then he can move back another position. Yeah, so if you're playing Fibonacci in the casino, you're gonna have to, that's 5 right there, find a way to keep track of where you are in the sequence and how much your present losing cycle, your losing streak is. It's not always going to be the same. Double down losses and split losses are very common. 15 is going to take a card. 25. 16. Or keep watching and hopefully I'll get it figured out. So Fibonacci, we're going to stick to the published sequence. Next wager is 8. Paroli needs some change. Okay. This is hand, what, 39. So we're getting close. Now, it's time to start talking about what to do. 15 hits to a 9. 17 stands if you end the shoe mid-sequence. 14, 24. Okay, so pays back the 5 and the 3 from the Fibonacci loss column to make 8. If you end the shoe mid-cycle, whether you're positive or progressive betting system. Okay, so that was 8. Generally, you move back 2. You still have 3 in your loss column. That's what we're going to do. And when you win that one, you'll move back the extra position and cancel out your losing cycle, your losing streak at break even. So 3. 1, 3, 2, 6 brings out another one. Paroli presses the 2. You know, whether you pick up your sequence where you left off at the start of the next shoe, 12, 16, 21. Well, it's just not getting easier for Fibonacci, but that's okay. Or do you start your cycle all over? That's a decision you're going to have to make yourself. That was hand 40. So we should expect a few more, about 5 more probably. Okay, Fibonacci next in the sequence is a 5. 1, 3, 2, 6 is just blowing through the chips here. As far as I keep having to make him change. Flat, rolling. Better check for that ace, which is not there. A 13 hits, 23, it's a loss. In my opinion, if you're on a negative progressive, well, actually, no matter what you're on, when the shoe ends, if you are up from your original buy-in for that shoe, so you start with 50, and whatever you happen to be up, 8 on the next wager for Fibonacci, that you pocket your gains, and you start over with your base, and it's just a whole brand new series. Well, okay, here's your first blackjack that we've seen. So Fibonacci, that's 8. We'll get 8 plus 4 for time and a half. 1, 3, 2, 6 gets 1 1/2. That is a quarter, but it represents a half a unit. If you've been a regular viewer, you are familiar with that. Paroli, same idea. Okay. Okay. The way we've been dealing with Fibonacci, with Blackjack, it's just a bonus pay, the 3 to 2. So that's all we have to do here. Even though we're down in the sequence, and our sequence is all screwed up, and by winning that 12, the 8 plus 4, you look at your loss column. 5 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. You've technically closed it out for actually a gain of 1. Despite that being your the objective of the series, or of the Fibonacci sequence, that's not how we've been doing it. You just get that bonus pay. So when you do hopefully close out this cycle, you won't really close it out for break even. You'll actually close it out at a gain of whatever additional 3 to 2 blackjack payouts you've gotten, or additional wins from double downs and multiple wins on splits. That's the way we've been doing it. Is that exactly the right way? I don't know. I didn't pay you. Don't worry, I'm on it. Did I? Oh, no, I did pay you. I paid you out of my rack. I gave you 12 out of my rack. 8 plus half of 8. So I'm going to take the 5 and the 3 loss out of your loss column. That's what I meant to do. And you still have 3 in your loss column. That's just fine because that's the spot we'll be moving to. We've already talked about that way too much. 1, 3, 2, 6 takes off the half a unit, presses, or sorry, adds 1 to make it 3. Flatbedder takes this off. The Paroli's going to press the whole thing. The whole thing. Isn't that what we've been doing, or we've been taking that off? Now I don't remember. Fibonacci's next wager is 3. What I was trying to avoid before was having quarter units. But I can accommodate that. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to press the entire thing. That's the idea behind Paroli, is that you look for 3 consecutive wins. So yes, we're going to let that half a unit ride. Thank God he didn't get another blackjack. I don't have to pay him a quarter unit and then press that, because I don't have an 8th unit. 14 will stand. 12. 13. There it is. 21. And he loses his half unit. Okay. Fibonacci up to 5. Ace check. Nope. 12 hits to a 10. 16 needs another card. 26 is too many. 15. That was hand 44, so it looks like we will make hand 45. After losing 5, Fibonacci goes to 8. Still looking to close out the losing streak. Oh, and he's going to get another chance to double down. This will be the 3rd double down in the Fibonacci present cycle. Yay! Great! There's +3 on that 5 is 8. I don't know if you can see it. God, everybody needs change. Come on. There. Okay. Single card. 19. Come on. 10. Oh boy. 20. Oh. So that was a double loss of 8 for Fibonacci. This is like the second most interesting shoe in the series. The first one was a huge mess. Okay, so after losing 8 for Fibonacci, he's going to go down a spot, but he had a double loss, so he's going to go to 21. I don't even know anymore. You're almost at the end of the shoe. You might as well try to get it back. You were actually down, what is that, 16, 21, 25, 27. If you won that, I don't know. Yeah, this is I'm sorry that this is getting messy, but you know, we're learning. I'm just trying to apply a consistent approach to the whole thing. Hope it works for you. 21 single units. That was hand 45. Yes, this is hand 46. This will be the last hand. 14 will stand to a 4. 11. Oh, that's ugly. 18. That is a loss there. These are all losses. You end the cycle mid-shoe for Fibonacci. How you deal with that, it's up to you. You're well down into it from your original 50. I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to leave your loss column here in case I feel like I want to talk about something with that. 46 hands. Let's count them up. Fibonacci 5, 10, 14, puts him down 36. 36. I'm gonna do that. That's gonna tell me 36, 3 and 6. 1, 3, 2, 6. These are 10s. That's 20. That's 33 and a half. That makes him down 16 and a half. I'm going to put that like that. Turn his upside down. That lets me know he's down 16 and a half. See, and I can see, oh, he's down 36. I know it's kind of weird, but you try doing this. 10, 20, 35, 38 and a half. That puts the flat down. 38 and a half is 11 and a half. Again, I'm going to put these upside down and bring his mount out in front. 11 and a half down. And Paroli, 10, 20, 33, makes him down 17. So let me just quickly give you some change so that I can do that thing I'm doing here. 17. Flip them over, down. Okay, and Martingale's got nothing, down all 50. Okay, so Martingale's 46 hands. Martingale busted out minus 50 units. Paroli down 17. See how this works? Flat better down 11 and a half. 1, 3, 2, 6 down 16 and a half. Fibonacci down 36 and a half. Yeah, the sequence got really screwy. But like I said, I'm trying to stay consistent with it. So what came out, this was I guess a bad shoe. You can tell because the flat better was down. Obviously Martingale busted out. Fibonacci is mid-cycle. The flat better would win being down the least after 46 hands. But here I kept the Fibonacci loss column. Let's just see what he has in there. That way, well, we should be able to know. He should be down. I should find 36 in here. Let's see if I do. 25. No, I have more than 36. Oh, because he won like that big blackjack, I think, on an 8. 35, 36. 40, oh, sorry, 36, 48. Huh. Okay. That's what he had in his loss column. Oh, because that's right, it's compounded. I don't know. Plus that. I don't know. Confusing. The end. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.